And we're back. What up? Welcome to Bonding.
Welcome.
Today's just Torey and I.
Just
Torey
us.
Cole. We haven't done an episode.
Just the two of
Just
us.
the two of us together.
The two. We can make it. Yeah.
Getting back to basics.
Yeah. Look at us.
A lot of people, I don't know, I'm sure people know, but
What do they
many
know?
many might not know that we are actually friends outside of this
Yeah,
podcast.
we're real life friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're good
Yeah.
friends.
We are good friends.
There's a lot that we learn about each other.
Yeah. What's the latest learning?
Where were you on 9/11?
I was at school. I think most
Mm.
kids my age were.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You weren't working in the mines?
Nope. I was at school.
What
And
grade
they
were
were
you in
like,
when 9/11 happened?
Third
Third grade.
Mm-hmm. Pretty
And
positive.
You did nothing to stop it.
No.
I was in kindergarten.
That's young.
Yeah.
So you don't remember it, I'm guessing? Or you
No,
got
I do.
some
I
kind of,
remember,
like, superhuman.
It was like one of my earliest memories. I remember
That's one of your earliest memories.
9/11. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I remember being at school, and then my mom came to pick me up, and then we had to go to the community college because my brother was going to a preschool there. And when we got there, one of my dad's friends came up to us and was like, she was crying because her brother was in the Peace Corps.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, we're under attack. And I remember being like, that's really weird. I'd only heard that in like Star Wars and shit. Like I'd only heard that movies and TV. I didn't really fully grasp the situation at that point. And then I remember seeing coverage that a plane fell into the tower till the second one hit. Then we got home around the time the second one hit.
Yeah, I remember watching it on TV.
Yeah, like my mom just put us in front of the TV and
Yeah.
called all of her friends. Like I had no idea what was going on. I didn't process that like that's what it was.
No, I remember just on a loop it playing. And what was crazy is we were selling our house at the time, and apparently, and I remember walking in on this, but right before I got home from school, they were showing our house to this couple, and this woman couldn't have been bothered. Like she saw what was happening on TV, and then she was like, "What about these granite countertops?" My mom was like, "What?"
Oh my God, the towers collapsed. Speaking of which, when was the last time the foundation?
Literally. Yeah, my mom was like, I've never been so confused and horrified by a person. Like, we just were like, can we stop the tour? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And
you
they
have to
ended
be
up
really
buying the
committed to
house.
buy a house.
They bought the house.
At that point, you do. I mean, I don't know. I'd always be walking through that house thinking the first time we saw this house was on 9/11.
Yeah. Didn't end well for them. It was a weird family, and they ended up moving.
Weird that it didn't end up well for the people who bought a house on 9/11.
Yeah.
I guess at that point, you're like, well, there's fewer buildings now. We might as well buy one.
That's one logic.
I don't know why you would want to go through. That'd be a crazy episode of House Hunters. Or House Hunters. I did House Hunters. House Hunters.
I see what you did.
It was a
there.
really bad
That's
spin-off.
a classic mix-up.
So I had no involvement in 9/11.
Is that a question
You,
or a statement?
yeah, statement.
No.
Yeah, it's a statement
Not
for
that
me.
I'm
I'm just
aware
asking
of.
from you. I never asked you that before.
As a third grader, no. No,
Nothing.
it's pretty removed.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Is
You
there,
can let
is there a
yourself be
bit in
influenced.
here? Are you gonna
No,
give me something?
I'm just asking. some
Pretty innocent.
I'm not gonna ask how your day was.
You're right.
How many
That's
podcasts start off
stupid.
that way?
No, you're right.
How few of them ask
Where was I?
non-hostily
You know what? I
where
will
were you
say,
during
though,
9/11?
I think living in the city really brought the weight of that day to life for me, whereas for so long it was like, yeah, New York, okay, horrible, obviously. But then when I moved here, I got more and more connected to the event and just feeling so at home here in New York. And then every day you're reminded with the One World Trade Center. And I've gone into that building in the memorial for it all. It's very fascinating, and it's been cool to be here because I always think about that. When I'm down in Tribeca, I think of the ruins that were there and the comeback. And it reminds me of, COVID. It's like we've made a full comeback. It's really cool. Are you done listening to me?
Yeah, I've had it with you.
Are you done?
If you're not watching, I just took my headphones off, and Torey gets very
Yeah.
sensitive. How would you describe the feeling of that, of like being here? Because at this time of year, it's very effervescent.
Yeah.
By the time this comes out, it'll be a day after 9/11, but
Yeah.
we're recording it a few days before.
For me, I've heard a lot of firsthand accounts from people that were here during that time. Or I've talked to firemen that were there. I've talked to policemen that were there. One of my mom's good friends lived in the East Village in a high rise, and he said he watched it happen from his balcony. And hearing a first-hand account of someone that watched something like that was really fascinating. And I think that's what made it come to life more and more over time. And then I worked an event on 9/11. When I first moved to the city, my sister was a producer at this event called 29 Rooms, which was a warehouse in Brooklyn. They would cut it into 29 rooms, and every room had like a different theme. Basically, it was like a giant
And
Instagram
one of them was
attraction.
9/11 themed?
No, it was very
That's
far
good.
from.
That
Well, what
would
was
be in
crazy
good
though was
taste.
that we were the last day was on 9/11, and all of our security were ex-firemen and policemen, and it was just fascinating because we're sitting in these rooms that are like filled with like pink fuzz that like people are taking selfies in front of, and these men are grieving something very extreme. And I remember just like pulling them to the side and talking to them, being like, how do you feel today? Like, what's going through your mind? And just hearing their firsthand accounts. Like, this one fireman was like, I'll never forget when I walked up to the site, it was so hot, it was green, it was glowing green, and he was saying how the bottom of his boots were just melting off. And how like that was happening.
And you were like, that's really nice and all, but could you keep it down? We're
I'm like,
trying
get
to have
these
a
people outta
bachelorette
here.
party
I'm
over
over
here. Please shut the fuck up. Never forget and all, but maybe not today.
Yeah.
We're celebrating.
No,
Kelsey
what I
getting
witnessed
engaged.
in that space was horrifying. I
Yeah, it's
actually deleted
crazy.
Instagram for like a month after because I was disgusted because people were lining up around the building to just walk around with their phones in their hands taking photos. The event itself was not exciting at all.
Yeah.
But it was crazy. People waited in line for like 5 hours to go through this event. And I have an
Like it's a
Instagram.
ride.
Literally. Well, there was this one room called the ball pit room. And it was a room just
Walls
filled
to walls,
with
balls, kids.
Yeah.
None of them is shaved.
But the photos in
all
that
of
room,
them look like Michael
I'll have to
Chiklis.
show you this photo. Because the photos, like they were really cool. And I remember being like, I'm not going to post this photo. Because I got one, obviously, in the ball pit. It was disgusting to watch. Like, people spent like 20 minutes in there getting the perfect photo. And I remember I obviously got my own photo in there. But I was like, I'm not going to post this because I'm, like, everything that this stands for is disgusting. Like, I cannot believe that this is how people live their lives. But then I posted this. And then right after I posted, I deleted my Instagram because I was just like, this is fake.
Well, at least
Everyone
you
in
waited
this ball
until
pit-
September 12th to post it.
I
like that you were holier than thou for a month, posted this the day after 9/11 and went, peace out.
Right, I'm a shallow loser.
That's so great.
But anyways, but yeah, back to 9/11.
No, I think we talked enough about it.
Okay.
That was a real.
I went on a few tangents there, but
Yeah, no.
I think it was
well,
cohesive enough for the
yeah,
people.
it's rare we live through. Well, I guess not rare that we live through historical events, but I mean, that was, I think, the first one I lived through.
Do you feel
Maybe
differently about
Columbine.
it living here in the city? Did it change for you, that event, or not?
When
really?
I first moved to the city, working at the Empire State Building, it changed.
Yeah.
Well, 9/11 every year I would be shitting my pants because I'm like, oh god.
You were thought something could happen.
Yeah, for like the first or second year, and then after
Mhm.
that, I was like, man, I hate fucking working here. I hope it happens, which is a joke. But I worked with a lot of people that worked at the World Trade Center when it all went down, and then they came to work at the Empire State Building, which never made a lot of sense to me.
What were their roles? Like
They were the
security?
elevator people.
Oh, okay.
The going
Oh,
up, don't
God.
press any of the buttons. Yeah, why would you go back to
No,
the scene of another
elevators
crime?
stress
But
me
I guess
out.
like you do one job for so long, and like it was a good
Yeah.
job. You get benefits.
I just couldn't. The elevator. I went up to the top of the rock once, and they sardine you into that elevator with people that don't speak.
You.
Like, no one in there speaks
I
English.
think
and
18. You're
not that
allowed
that's a
to
bad
pack
thing,
in.
but it's just so foreign, and you're just like slammed in there, and then
Yeah,
you're like, if this thing stops, I will have a mental
that
breakdown.
happened to me a couple of times working
don't
there.
know
Like I'd be
how-
going in the elevator, and I had a radio and a key, and a key for the room, and my chastity belt, ladies. And I had a radio that I would talk to truckers on. But I would always I've been stuck like 3 times. 2 times was by myself,
Yeah.
which was cool.
You said for like an hour. Remember you talking about this?
Yeah, once.
I
That
would
one
lose
was
my
long.
shit.
But
You
like,
said you were
the
fine?
elevators are timed. The elevators in that building go from a certain floor to another floor in a short amount of time, and they're programmed to go up that way. So even if they stop, it's not like stuck in an elevator. If it drops, you're gonna die. There's safety nets on every single floor that'll catch you, so you are stuck there. But
If
they
they
can't just go in
work.
and open the doors. Yeah, but there's at least 86 of them, so one of them
Okay.
have got to work. But this one time I did get stuck in an elevator with people, and I hated it so much because I like had a
Did you
radio that I
bond with
turned
them?
off immediately because I was like, All right, if
right.
it gets bad, then everyone is. I mean, we weren't going to be stuck in there very long, because especially if you're stuck in there with tourists, that building has to shell out money and like give you like gift bags and all this other stuff, so you don't sue.
Shot glass.
Yeah, a shot glass. You get a King Kong keychain.
I love New York.
All that, so you don't sue us for the PTSD. I love New York, but I don't love their elevators. Let's just keep this between us.
Yeah, no, I'm not even gonna say it.
Well, luckily you don't have an elevator.
Yeah, no, honestly, I guess I'm about to say I would never live in an elevator
Is
building,
it a
and
top
then I'm like,
5 fear of
obviously I
yours?
would.
Getting stuck by in an elevator?
Top 5 fears. Yeah, it's up there. I mean, when
what else would you
elevators.
say is up there? You were so terrified of, like, you have it.
Well, when I first moved to the city, I didn't use the subway.
Right.
I didn't use it. I walked
A lot of
everywhere.
people don't.
So, when the subway stops, I always have this initial like gut, like, ugh, and then usually it gets going again, so I get over it. I used to panic when it would stop, but the subway kind of sketches me out still. I've gotten over that, obviously, because I use it all the time. But top 5 fear.
You afraid of heights?
Not really.
Clowns?
No.
Blades?
Helicopters. I don't want to ever
Helicopter.
go on a helicopter. No
yeah, I don't want to ride a
interest.
helicopter either. Every time somebody dies, it's usually in a helicopter.
Right? It's like a given
Well, I mean,
at this
like,
point.
The
They were
most
asking
airline
for it.
crashes are like they die in a helicopter, just because
Yeah.
there's so many variables with a helicopter, and so
It's
much could
not
go. Like one little thing could go wrong, and
From a physics standpoint, I don't think it makes any sense.
it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
Where is the other blade? All it's doing, Jerry, is just whip, 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 whip.
It's good.
There's no takeoff.
But really,
They just go from here to here. It stretches me out.
and they go down often.
They do.
Yeah.
Not the way that they're supposed to,
Right.
which is smooth.
When I first moved to the city, one landed in the East River.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
6 years ago.
I saw that. I was at the Empire State Building when
You
that
watched it
happened. I
happen?
saw it after. I didn't. I
Oh.
wasn't like, hey there, Jim. Looks like one of these Kepelopters is going
Everyone
down in the
died
river.
except for like one person, which is weird.
Well, I wish they didn't make any jokes
That's a
about
that's
it.
a lot of PTSD.
Sully really set a high precedent, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, that
He
son
really
of a bitch.
did.
God bless him.
I can't believe that happened.
It'd be
either.
crazy if he did that on the anniversary of 9/11. If he crashed the plane into the water, that'd be a big fuck you.
Well, that would look bad.
yeah.
There'd be like a longer
It would
lawsuit
just be
there.
like,
They'd be
yeah,
like,
it wasn't that
"You-"
hard.
The problem was that he was a drunk, right?
No, he
Oh.
saved them.
But wasn't he a drinker in the movie?
No, that's
movie-
a different movie.
What
That's
movie is
Denzel
that?
Washington.
What's
Flight.
that? Oh, okay. Classic mix-up.
Yeah, I know. Denzel looks just like Captain Sully.
Sully's a
That's
drunk.
good though. Now I know you don't see color.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't at all.
That's good.
Are you
The
not
more
allowed to
you
say
it,
that?
the more- I don't.
Well,
I don't.
I've said that before. Like,
I
you're not
voted for
allowed to
Obama.
say that.
You're not
Apparently,
allowed to say what?
I don't see color.
It's a dumb thing to say.
I didn't say it on like.
I said it for you.
All right, I'm not gonna say anything else
Well, then what am I
Anyways.
supposed to do? Just talk this whole time?
about that subject.
Okay.
How's Cameo?
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of. How
I
many
missed
requests?
a couple this week. I don't know how.
What happens if you just miss them?
I
There's
feel a
timelines to
crushing
this. It's
amount
like
of
birthdays,
guilt.
right? Like you gotta hit the birthdays.
Sometimes they're birthdays. Sometimes they're roasts.
Does-
Sometimes they're pep talks. I take the pep talk ones very seriously.
Yeah.
Those are like the 3 big categories, and then other.
Pep talk.
Yeah.
What's been one of the pep talk requests?
I don't know if I should
Oh,
say.
is it supposed to be?
No, but it's like if that
an
person
unspoken
decides
code?
to share it, I will.
I got
but it's
you.
like a private message.
You
between-
can't like be a therapist and be like, Joe Smith
Yeah.
in Orlando, Florida.
Right.
Example.
He may or may not have killed his wife and needed some advice on how to get rid of the body, and
Alright.
I may or may not have been there for him. But
Okay. Never
$20
mind.
is
Fine.
$20. I had some.
You gotta
I've
raise
had
your,
a lot of.
you gotta raise your prices for your impressions. I think.
I think it's about what I'm worth. I don't think people will pay $30. You got to look at it that way.
You don't
Will
think you're
people
worth-
pay $30?
You don't think you're worth $30?
Not on Cameo.
If you're gonna do a full act out like your Simpsons one was so good.
Thank you.
That's a lot. Like, have you heard the story where the man doodles a chicken or a rooster on a napkin, and he's in a cafe and
Must
this
have missed
guy.
this one in kindergarten.
Okay, I could have made this up, but a guy walks up to him and says, "Hey, can I buy that off of you?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course, that'll be $10,000." And he's like, "What? You just drew it. It took you 3 seconds." He's like, "No, this took me 10 years to master drawing this." And he's like, "Oh, got it."
So he gets a G for every year.
That's the story. Do you get what I'm saying?
The guy said, "Oh, got it. That about explains everything, sir. Here's your $10,000 I carry around at all times. It is but pocket change for me."
Do you get what I'm saying, though?
Sir Cockington,
Like
I must have a picture of this rooster.
Fuck me. Okay.
No, I know what you're saying.
Thank you.
I should charge $10,000 for my
I'm not
Cameo.
saying you should charge $10,000, but when you put in your acting and your art into these cameos, I think it's worth more. And I get it. It's better to have an inflow, but I do think over time maybe you might want to think about that. Also, if you're not able to fulfill all the requests, if you charge more, you'll get less, and then you'll be able to, fulfill this.
I honestly should just charge like $500 for one. Then I won't have to do any.
There you go.
Could just launder it
the
like
real fans will, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a bell curve here, but.
There's a bell curve.
That's going into
the best of.
Back to the bell curve.
Lines of bonding. Bell curve.
Bell curve.
I think we say it every episode.
I like to fit it in. I think it applies everywhere.
Yeah, are you getting paid per bell curve over here? You say it all the time. Bell curve. There's a bell curve. There's a bell curve in which you're bell curving over here. Are there other kinds of curves?
I've only said it one other time.
That's not true. I edit these goddamn it.
Really? I say it a lot?
I have to edit it out.
Do I have a stroke when I
have a podcast?
How many times have I said that's good?
What? I thought you were going to say stroke, because that's the other one.
Oh,
we're going to
really?
do here, ladies and gentlemen, top 10 Torey Cole phrases. Here we go. Number 10, having a stroke.
There's a bell curve.
Number 9, there's a bell curve. Why is my camera blinking?
It's recording.
Damn, we're on such a roll. I know it was recording, but... Oh, wait, because I'm using the second one, and it has to set it up into 2 files.
Oh.
It's all good.
Everything's
good.
All good.
I saw a tweet the other day I really related to. Somebody was like, sometimes when my air fryer is counting down, I'll close my eyes and pretend a bomb is strapped to my chest. And I've been doing that lately.
Why?
Because then it blows up. Like, boop, 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 boop.
Like a suicidal thought?
It's been a fun little role-playing thing I've been doing. There was no reason for me to tell you that, but it just popped into my head, and I saw the time flashing, and it made me think of that.
I was trying to meet you on your level there, and the only reason why I would ever do something like that would be to get to the food faster, and by doing that, you would enter into a new imaginary land, but...
It's only like 5 seconds.
But it's only 5 seconds, and it's really dark, so... But that's fun for you.
Yeah, you gotta have... I'm all about balance,
Yeah, yin and yang.
And I love food.
Yeah.
Food makes me happy.
Same.
And I feel guilty about how happy it makes me, so I try to
Same.
run a suicide drill every time I'm about to eat one, so it balances out.
80-20. You know what I did the other day that's embarrassing to admit? But I've
Not on this podcast.
I've been really into like Jay Shetty podcasts and stuff.
Yeah.
As I've mentioned.
Right.
And so you know how YouTube is like, oh, you like this? What about this? And then it served me a video where a monk was talking about eating. Mm-hmm. And it was ways that monks eat, and it was ways that you could bring that into your own life.
Monks eat all up their ass.
So I watched it, and it was really interesting because their whole motto and outlook on food is that it's obviously just to nourish your body. You shouldn't take any joy out of it. They eat out of bowls, and they have to put all their food in it. Like if they want cake and soup, it goes into the same bowl, which was weird that he said cake. I feel like they wouldn't feed them cake, but he kept saying cake. So
let them eat cake,
I guess. But it was really interesting. Like he had a lot of different insights on eating like a monk. Have I adopted any of them? No, but I was interested. It was interesting.
I went to a lot of those Buddhist temples with my dad when I was a kid, and seeing the monks eating was always very interesting to me.
Actually?
Yeah. There was one in...
Where? Was there a temple of monks in Connecticut?
There wasn't. It was upstate New York, Carmel, New York.
Oh.
I think it was called the Shenyang Monastery.
Oh.
It's this big, beautiful temple, like acres and acres of land.
Uh-huh. I thought monks were all in Thailand.
No, some of them work at Foot Locker up the street. It turns out the whole no attachments thing really doesn't fly with the landlord, if you know what I mean. Where's my money, Albert Kwok? There is no money. There is only now. Well, there is no fucking apartment for you right now, so get the hell out of here.
All right.
Mr. Eightfold
That's cool
Pat.
you did that with your dad. That's cool.
I hated it when I was a kid. But
do you like it now?
Looking back on it, it had a really big impact on me.
What was
that
the
and
biggest
beatings.
impact from your visits with the monks?
From the beatings or the Buddhism?
The Buddhism.
That's gonna be my autobiography.
What's your biggest impact from the Buddhism and those trips with your dad?
Made me forget about the beatings. No, it was cool because like my dad, I remember when he got into Buddhism.
Is he still into it?
Yeah.
It wasn't a phase.
He's who gave me this bracelet. It definitely was a phase, but it's one that stuck with him. Just like it was a phase with me. I was really more into it when I was getting off coke. But what I remember from it is like my dad stopped drinking and then he got in. He was always spiritual, very anti-religion. Got into Buddhism, found like a local reverend who was a Catholic reverend but also a Buddhist reverend, and lived in the area and became like my dad and him got tight. That guy taught me how to play ukulele.
So the guy that commented on the YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Shout out Brian Ball.
Full circle moment.
My man.
I know this guy.
He took really good care of me and my brothers as kids. Brought us to, I'd learned how to play ukulele from him. We'd go to like this senior center a couple of towns over because we did anything we could to get out of karate for a night. And yeah, we played ukulele. And
did you learn an actual song or you just strum the strings?
We played a lot of oldies songs.
Can you sing the Hallelujah song?
Which one?
Like the who? Oh my God, what was that? Oh, that's This Light. It's This Light. It was my singing.
Oh, you're like, yeah.
You know the song. I'm not gonna sing.
The Billy
it.
Joel one.
It's like the fat guy sings it. In
Billy Joel.
No, it's like a fat Hawaiian. Come on.
I think it's a cover of the Billy Joel song.
Really?
Yeah.
Not Hallelujah. Not that one. Like the. I'm not gonna sing. I'm not gonna do it.
The big Hawaiian guy is known for Over the Rainbow.
That's it.
That's the one you were thinking of?
That's what I was thinking.
I used to be able to do that. I auditioned for this Nickelodeon show a few months ago, and they wanted somebody to play. They were looking
Hawaiian?
for someone. And I was like, time to get method.
That would have been great for you.
Yeah. And all I wanted to do was just not stop eating.
Did you say time to get method?
Method, yeah.
That's hilarious. Method acting. Yeah, I was quick. I wanted to make sure I heard that right. That was funny.
Put it on the board.
Break out that ravioli. Time to get method.
He's ready for some carbs. Gonna clog up the arteries and the box office. But they wanted like a Blue's Clues type host, so they wanted somebody to do some.
I think you'd kill yourself
read a
if
script.
you did that.
I wouldn't kill myself with that check, dog. I'm reading Jeanette McCurdy's book right now, and I found out how much she made per episode of iCarly, and then I did the math, and then found out how much she made on Sam a Cat, and I did the math, and I was like, man, I would definitely. I don't think I'd be able to do stand-up if I did a Blue's Clues type show, though.
Right, it'd be hard to balance.
Yeah, I got a lot of anti-children material, which is better than having pro-children material. When I went on stage, I was like, boy, anyone else here just love kids? Man, I tell you.
Yeah, that's not funny at all.
It's uncomfortable.
That's like saying, do you love your spouse? Do you love your life?
Yeah. Well, then join me in my seminar for no problems at all. Come sit with us while we work on nothing.
We did it. Yeah.
Rub it in your neighbor's fat, ugly face that you're doing better by him in every metric. We did it.
We did it.
The No Problem Club for all upper class, middle.
Come laugh at nothing. Yeah.
That's a new show.
That's good.
Hosted by. Who's representative of that?
Of having it all together?
Yeah.
Oprah comes to mind, but that's not true at all. I don't know why my brain was like, maybe Oprah. No. Ellen acts like she's got it all together. Like she had that special called Relatable. I'm so not like.
Who, Ellen?
Yeah, her special called Relatable was all about how she has so much money she's not relatable. It was so annoying. Did you see it?
No.
Yeah, it was bad. It wasn't I wasn't a fan.
Ellen's early stuff is so great. You ever see her first Tonight Show performance?
No.
So good.
I remember she had a joke about grapes that was pretty good. Where she's like, I love grapes. And I was like, that's funny.
She had one where they were like, people always ask me, was I always a comedian? It's like, no, I used to be a child or something. She's like, did I want to be a comedian when I was a kid? No, I wanted to be an accountant. And she had another one where like, my grandmother runs 3 miles every single day. We have no idea where she is. Like stuff like that. It's
just silly. Yeah,
that time. Yeah. It was an easier time for lesbians to be funny.
Well,
It was an easier time for
starting out
lesbians
in
to be
comedy
funny,
because they
Lois.
could take all the jokes where you're like, you like grapes? You know, now it's like you gotta.
You could still do great material.
Could I?
Yeah, it's
Could I?
yeah, it's politically correct.
That's true.
Yeah, you can't be like you could do like Chris Rock. You go to the grocery store, there's
No, don't.
there's red grapes and green grapes. Red grapes be sitting on the shelf like this. I ain't worry, I'm a red grape. But green grapes, they be strutting. That's the difference between black people and white people joke.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, I got it when you went dead behind the eyes. Thank you for leaving me up there.
You know what? I wanted you to just run.
I did. I'm running right into a burning building.
I was just giving you the path.
What did I?
I have a question for you.
You have a question for me?
Yes, I have
Okay.
a question for you.
All right, I have an answer.
What is your latest obsession? Or you can go either way. Like, I know you always want to buy something. Like, for a while, it was like the Switch, the Nintendo Switch.
Right.
What's like been burning in your brain? Like, I have to buy this next big Cameo check. This is mine.
When that next Cameo check clears, let me tell you, you won't be seeing too much of this guy around. What am I obsessed with that like I want to buy? I do get impulses a lot. I went on a hoodie binge.
Hoodie binge
this week.
Tell me more. I love hoodies.
I got one with me over here that just came in the mail yesterday.
What's
when I was done
the
at
story
Broadway
there?
the other night, after I was done hosting the 9, I was like, man, I'm gonna need some fall clothes, and so I bought like 4 or 5 hoodies.
Fall is coming.
Fall is coming.
That's a
Some
quote.
say it's here. It's still like I trick myself this time of year and like wearing a hoodie outside.
I know. I want to wear one tonight, and
Yeah.
it's like 73 degrees, and I'm like, can I?
I think you could pull one off tonight, but during the day you can't.
No, not to.
No, because
no.
like I wore one. I got 2 in the mail today, and I wore one.
Can we show the people?
It's just Batman.
Yeah,
It's nothing.
that's so you. Where'd you get it from?
Batman.
.com.
No. Batman.com. The hoodies are in. No, I kind of where I get all my shit. eBay.
Oh right.
I don't do Amazon.
You're so weird about eBay.
I'm not weird about it. I just
Pretty
Jeff
weird.
Bezos doesn't need any more of
My
money.
latest, I'm
What's
into
yours? Yeah.
graphic
I was
tees
done.
as well. I know. Well, we could ping pong. This is a conversation.
Yeah. Wait, graphic tees?
My turn.
I have to. If anybody is listening at home and wants to know how to host a podcast, you say my turn every time you're going to speak over.
Anyways, my cousin was visiting me last weekend, and she had a really cool NASCAR Gay Pride T-shirt, and it was like the NASCAR with like a big rainbow racing flag behind
Didn't
it.
know there was a big market for those.
Well, that's what's cool. I said, where did you get that? That's so cool. And she's like, NASCAR.com.
Really?
They did a whole thing for Gay Pride Month. And I went online, and they're like $27. They have a bunch of options with like NASCAR and the Gay Pride. And I'm like, that is so cool. What a collab.
Yeah.
So I've held off because I'm really trying not to buy things. Like I told myself I wouldn't buy flowers. I bought flowers.
That's going really well.
Yeah, but
At least you didn't buy the Black Lives Matter Klan shirt from
that's
NASCAR.
true. That would have been
Gay
awkward.
Are there any gay NASCAR drivers?
I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of.
Right.
Maybe they're not out.
Niles, I don't follow the sport.
But that's been one of my like itchy brain. Like I really want that. But I didn't. I haven't bought it because sometimes I go in and out. Like I'm like getting older. You know, I'm gonna be 30 in 6 months, and I'm like, what does a 30-year-old wear? I'm like, can she wear a
Her whole life on her
NASCAR Gay
face.
Pride T-shirt, or should she grow up? I don't know. These are
yeah.
questions that I ask.
When a woman becomes
Can I
30,
wear
she
this?
must stop wearing shirts
Just
and
give
become
it up.
homophobic. Put on your shawl and shame them.
Those are silly questions I ask myself. But
Yeah, keep wearing the NSYNC shirts so the kids know you were born in the 1900s.
that's actually pretty good. This is actually good. This is
Yeah.
this works for my
The
age.
stuff that we grew up with is now really cool to like. Like my
That's-
brother who's 18 is so obsessed with the stuff that we grew up with.
That's funny.
He's obsessed with the 2000s.
Well, sometimes I think about that too. Like yesterday, I was walking and I was thinking about how we've glorified the 90s. We've obviously glorified everything in the past. I'm like, well, one day we glorify this period right now. Like, what's even monumental
Nothing to
right now?
glorify.
That's what I'm That's what I'm saying.
Honestly,
I'm like,
what?
in 20 years, are we gonna be like, oh, those 2020s?
Yeah, remember how fucking terrible they were?
But I'm sure
We
there's something
started off
bad
in a
happening
pandemic.
back. You know, there's always been wars and there's always been
Right.
shit. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know what would be cool right now. I think everything's so Lizzo, big Lizzo right now, you know, but she'll be around for a while.
Lizzo?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's like we had these like big obsessions, like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and whatever. Kelly Clarkson, she's still around. She's got her.
Yeah, I remember.
But you know what I mean? Like, they were
Kelly
so.
Clarkson
It was
our first democratically elected American Idol for all the kids listening.
Yeah, was she the first?
Yeah.
Number one?
Her and that kid with the...
Clay Aiken?
No.
With
Clay
the wig?
Aiken did lose, though.
He lost?
To Ruben Studdard.
Really? I thought he was a winner.
No, Ruben won that year.
Anyways.
And then...
Do you see where I'm going with this mentally? Like, what's that
I
now?
was listening to Matt
TikTokers?
Damon was talking about it in an interview, and he was like, the reason why we don't make movies the way we used to anymore is because physical media is not a thing.
Right.
Like, you used to make a movie, you'd spend 6 months promoting it, movie comes out, 6 months later, you promo the DVD. And that'd be like a whole other second press tour, and that'd be a whole other source of income that you would get money on. And that just doesn't
now
exist
it's just
anymore.
A flash, and
now
then
it's
it's
a
over.
Flash. It's there for, like a second, for something to really... like, I'm trying to think of the last few things that really took hold of people. Last year, it was Squid Game. In 2005, if Squid
Euphoria
Game came out
was
week
big?
to week, it would be just as big as Lost.
Lost.
If Lost came out today, it would be like Stranger Things. It's really
Yeah.
big. People binge it for 13 episodes. It's the biggest thing ever. And then 2 weeks later, they forget about it. Move on to Sandman or Dating and Related. That's a new show out now. Shows now sound like 30 Rock sitcoms.
Dating and Relating?
Dated and Related. Yeah, where
like cousins date and they film it?
No, they're helping their other cousins get laid.
Ew.
Yeah, trying to bring a close family even closer.
I don't like that at all.
I mean, I don't know whose idea that was.
Yeah, I'm worried there's not going to be another like Elf or Mean Girls or like Ratatouille. There's no
Those
more.
Those are the 3 movies you've seen.
There's no more.
There's a new Ratatouille every year with
Shawshank
movies.
Redemption. There's no more.
Yeah, I mean, there still are classics that come out every
What's
year.
been the latest classic that you think is going to be around forever that you're like, yep, that's a staple?
This year?
In the last 3 years.
And staple, you mean like something...
Forever.
Wow, you had that one ready to go.
I don't know. I just got really aggressive.
Forever!
I feel passionate about this subject because it stresses me out.
I know, you talk about it a lot.
I know.
You know what stresses me out too? You know what I did?
Me?
I didn't know if I told you about this. There was that Batgirl movie that was coming out.
Yeah.
And apparently it got really bad reviews in the test screenings. So Warner Brothers just shelved it and they're never releasing it. Like nobody's...
I want it.
Yeah, it was like 100... I mean... People were shitting on it already, and the only reason they want it now is because nobody's ever going to see it. And then there's a merger going on with HBO Max and Discovery Plus, so a lot of content is getting scrubbed off of these accounts and never to be seen again. And it got me paranoid because I mean we all rely on it. You want to watch something, type it in. It's got to be somewhere. It's got to be on something. And increasingly though.
Sorry, I just thought
it's not.
It's funny.
It's nowhere. There's like 4 shows I was going to watch.
That's
the other
maddening,
day.
actually.
You can't find it, and it's just scrubbed. And I'm like, well, if I have to rely on the service, how am I going? So I'm going backwards, and I'm buying physical media stuff. Like
You're buying it.
I bought VHS tapes of the original Star Wars trilogy before they got remastered in the 90s because it's like those are hard to come by, and I found them online, and I was like, well, I want these. I don't even have a VCR, but I want them just in case they get lost to time one day.
You are a bit of a hoarder.
I'm a collector more than a hoarder. I was a big hoarder for a while. I'm addicted to street trash.
There's a fine line between collector and hoarder.
No, I think hoarder is when you lie to yourself to preserve the memory of something. Like my mom is a hoarder. Like she'll want to hold on to gift wrapper shit because she wants to preserve the memory. My dad is a collector. He buys something because A, it means it has value to him, and B, thinks the value of it will increase over time.
I stand corrected.
I think I'm a little bit of both.
Okay.
Especially in my last place. I'm less of a hoarder now. And I'm honestly less of a collector because I allow myself to... I mean, the big
Detachment. That's healthy. Detach.
Yeah.
Detach.
The big thing I spend my money on now is
detach.
comic books because I really when I have
Did you buy one
my
today?
ideal day.
Did you go to Midtown Comics today?
I did not. That's usually my Sunday. But that's what I like on my days off. I have a lot of time. If I have a lot of time on a Sunday, I'll go buy comic books and I'll sit and read them for like 2 hours because I will just be undisturbed.
Yeah.
After having to talk to so many people. Not have to. I really enjoy
I feel like
what
that's,
I do.
That's
but I also like a nice little escape. And I forgot how much I enjoyed reading comic books.
I feel like you're always reading.
Yeah, but a lot of time I'm like
reading.
forcing myself to do it. Like I have to read an hour in the morning.
Why do you feel like you have to do that? 2 hours a day is a lot.
Yeah, but I spend like 8 hours watching TV.
You do watch a lot of TV?
Yeah.
Really?
I watch TV, watch a lot of news in the morning, and I watch trying to watch less, but I watch like 3 to 4 hours of TV at night when I come home. Like 2 hours of video games.
How much are you sleeping? How many hours a night are you getting?
I only need about 5 hours of sleep. My whole life I've been pretty good at coasting that.
All right.
I'm good at it. I really don't get like exhausted, tired. The tired I get
5
is like
hours
after
is not
doing,
many.
Yeah, I know. For some, I mean, I start to feel really guilty when I sleep longer than that.
That's fair.
Which is not healthy, but
no.
Last night I didn't sleep at all. Like and I didn't work last night either. Like I was in bed. I started to pass out around 10:30 watching The Simpsons, and then I got up to go to bed because I have a bad habit of falling asleep on the couch. I have my whole life. And then I got into bed and I couldn't fall asleep. And like I was tossing and turning up until like 7 or 8 in the morning. Then I was like, all right, I'm going to the gym now. Like, let's go.
Sounds
let's get
horrible.
I'm trying to drink less caffeine, and I'm trying to
You're trying to
get
not
the same amount of sleep.
Okay.
But like I have a problem with I'll do like 2 coffees back to back in the morning.
Yeah,
like 2 10-ounce coffees.
Yeah.
And then go to the gym, work it off, come home, eat, and then have another coffee when I want to get back to work. Like that's not healthy. I feel at the end of the day like my
I feel
chest.
No, I mean you saw my cold brew. I always have like
I can't get into cold brew.
Love it.
I don't like cold coffee.
It's actually good for you. That's
I love
good.
Hot coffee.
Don't get into it because it's
Reminds me of where I'm
it's so easy to get and it's always ready, you know.
Doing,
where if you have the hot coffee, you have to like make it or buy it or
It's so
you got a barrier to entry. That's good for you.
What?
That you can't just have it on hand all the time unless you got a big coffee pot. You just always.
That's an awfully hot coffee pot.
All right.
Anyways,
Anyways,
do any accents? That's a good sentence to do it in that voice.
No.
Like whenever I do impressions or when I'm trying to do an accent, you say that sentence a bunch.
That's
or
a hot
like
coffee pot? That's what you say?
Hot coffee pot. Or the other one that I learned from Natalie Portman.
That's what you say in whatever.
I had to do this cartoon a couple years ago. This pilot, and I had to do a Boston accent, which I wasn't very good at, but I was learning it, and I just kept watching The Departed and going like, "That's an awfully hot coffee pot." But every time I do it, I turn into JFK. That's an awfully hot coffee pot.
So you made
there
this
was
up.
another one.
That's not like a speech coach was like, hey, if you're doing an accent, just say that's an awfully hot
that's
coffee pot.
That's what my manager at the time pointed out to me. And I never needed a speech
you never
coach
Googled
because
this?
I talk too good. But there is one
good?
that I learned from Natalie Portman that I think it's all I want is a proper cup of coffee from a copper coffee pot.
All I want is a proper cup of coffee from a
copper coffee pot. That's a good one to say to yourself a bunch before you gotta like talk in front of people or
that's
just
good.
loosen up your mouth
I need to do shit like that because I'm
it's
that's usually me on stage.
This is how I go down. This is how I speak orally. This is what's going into my head when Troy's talking.
When I rewatch my set, sometimes I'm like, I didn't say anything.
I have that problem too. I have the same kind of.
It's so scary.
Yeah, I will. I remember a comic told me once that I sound drunk all the time, which is
are you?
True. That's also fair. But I do. Like I have like this like 2% slur sometimes if I'm thinking a lot.
Yeah.
I either talk really fast or I'll slow down my speech and it sounds. And I have problems with some connecting letters and words sometimes.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, like I always forget what they are until I say the joke on stage and I'm like, I gotta work on that, but I never do.
The best is the voice in your head when you're doing like really anything, but especially comedy, because it's like
Yeah.
you have got a full voice going off, and it's like then
Yeah.
you're also doing your set,
I
and
have
then
a
you're
few.
judging yourself while you're doing it, and you're kind of just like, and they're like, do I say that? No, don't say that. Keep going. Push through. Should I call that out? No, don't call that out. Like,
Yeah, it's
oh, I should have called that out.
it's good meditation. It's been helping me work on my temper lately.
You've got a bad temper?
Yeah.
I've really never seen you angry.
I don't really get that. I don't fly off like that.
So your temper is just internal
Yeah, I turn
burning
it on
and rage.
myself.
But on the outside, you're just like, do.
And it comes out when somebody's. The thing I think that makes me angriest is when I either myself, any category there, me, or
Well, you treat others the way you treat yourself.
yeah. Well, that's not true. I think I'm much better to other people.
I
than
know,
am to
but
myself
deep down, it could come out.
deep down, yeah. Back
Just
up
based
if
off
I
of
was
my
you.
learnings.
Yeah. What book taught you that one?
All
Which
of
one of
them.
your fancy little
All
clean
of
and
them.
living sober books? It's called.
And
It's
it's
called
just like
deep
a-
down.
you know,
It's everyone else's
you
fault.
treat others the way you, or you talk to others the way you talk to yourself.
Listen here, you stupid bitch. I was in the middle of something. You ever cut me off again? I'll cut your fucking throat. Maybe you're right.
Your turn.
No, like when people, I think when people are not situationally aware of what they're doing, that sets me off. And it's usually like when everyone's quiet and there's like one person paying their bill really loudly and they're talking and like I can hear them and they're not directed at me. So what I'll do is I'll just start opening the back of my mouth and project a little bit more, hoping that'll get them to shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they won't, and I'll have to go in. But that's been a good meditation. And also,
Yelling is your meditation. Is that what I heard? I think I heard that correctly.
in some ways, it is.
It is a release.
But also, I'm trying to teach myself that because there's a lot of feedback in what I do, what we do for a living.
Like that you
There's a
made
lot
that
of
about.
comments. There's a lot of
I try
good and
sometimes.
bad. There's a lot, and sometimes it really gets to me. But I'm trying to learn now that someone else. I have my way of how I view the world and my thoughts and critiques on things, and my critique of someone else isn't what that thing is. It's just my opinion of it.
We only see through our two
And
eyes.
Same with someone else's opinion of me.
Right.
Like, I don't know what clip it was. I forgot. But one of the early comments in the last podcast clip we uploaded, someone just wrote, "This fucking blows."
Which clip?
I don't remember, but I remember seeing it. And at first that really hurt my feelings. And then I was like, no, you know what? If this person thinks it blows, I can't tell them that they're wrong.
Right. They think that.
Subjectively, I didn't think it blew. Maybe on a subconscious level I did. But there's things that guy likes that I think fucking blows. The only difference is I'm not a dickhead that tells everybody every intrusive thought I have unwarranted. They got to come to my podcast to listen to that one, baby. Sorry. And that one's voluntary.
And they watched it, so it'd be like, well, you're the sucker for watching it all the way through.
I know. I'm like, what do you want me to do?
Fucking loser.
Give you 30 seconds of your life back that I gave you for free? Sorry.
You should comment that. Have you commented that on any of the negative
There's this
comments?
one guy. I almost want to call him out. He keeps
do it.
messaging me.
Do it.
First he messaged me and he was like, dude,
I thought
you're
you blocked
fucking
this guy.
hilarious. And then he messaged me again and he was like, I didn't realize you were a pussy brainwashed New York City lib. And then I was like, yeah, but I'm a pussy brainwashed New York City lib that you follow. And then he wrote back, it's not my fault. The algorithm recommended you to my page. And then that like lived in the back of my head for like every time I was in the shower, I thought about it or like was doing something menial. It would just go from here to the front lobe. And then he replied to my story, something else. He was like, dude, you're so fucking hilarious. And then I posted something about Trump. And then he just went back with the insults. And at this point, I just like seeing the back and forth. Also, like what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
I cut you off too much during this podcast sometimes.
We were both right there.
Yeah.
But I'll take my turn. No, I think about that.
My turn.
My turn. When I watch a comedian, like if I don't know them, and like let's say they're killing, oh my god, I love this person, and then they say something that loses me, I'm like, ugh. Like if it's bad, and then like they'll win me again, and then they'll lose me with like. So I have on my own personal roller coaster of like I like them, I don't like them, I like them, I don't like. So that's basically what's happening, I think, with this guy, but he's very vocal about it.
Yeah, and it made me realize my biases.
Oh.
Towards something like comedy. I'm very, very serious about comedy, and I think I often watch it without enjoying it. I'm critiquing it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't really feel like I have a place to, and I'm hindering my experience of enjoying comedy by watching it through the eyes of being like, oh, was this good? Would I do that? Was that hacky? Was it not hacky?
Yourself?
Like, just let it be. It's one of those things that let it be. And also, some guy messaged me last week because I have a really big mouth, and I share my opinions a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I never say they're right, but especially politically, I'm pretty vocal. And that's a tough thing to be vocal about. People are very sensitive about that.
They
and
are.
I'm understanding of it. And some guy reached out to me, and he was like, politics have no place in comedy anymore, which is the dumbest thing he could possibly say.
Mm-hmm.
That one I teeter the line on if that's objectively dumb or subjectively dumb, because that's what comedy is. The number one rule of comedy is telling people the emperor is not wearing clothes. That's like saying... That's like all the people who are getting pissed at Rage Against the Machine for getting too political. I'm sorry, what did you think the machine was that they were raging against? And these people can vote. But I digress. Niles, I'm like, you know what? If that guy thinks that there's no place for politics in comedy, he's going to look for comedy where there's no politics.
Mm-hmm.
And that's his purview. He doesn't want any comedy in his politics. He doesn't want any mashed potatoes on
touching
his Thanksgiving. Touching his peas. He doesn't want his mashed potatoes touching his peas.
Yeah.
Me, I like to mix it all around and shove it into my mouth like the fat pig I am.
Same.
No. That's Richard Nixon at Thanksgiving. I am not a cook. No. Do you get that reference? Because Nixon's big thing was, I am not a crook. And I so fastly thought of, I am not a cook.
No, I mean, what do you mean so vastly?
Fastly, I thought.
Oh, yeah, you know, you think of everything fast.
Yeah.
You're very quick.
I didn't hear you give me positive reinforcement that time. I was just going out the window with everything I just talked about the last 10 minutes.
I like to
and
let
still
you
being
live.
like, did Torey like it?
It was great.
Thank you. Now I feel like...
I loved it all. I think you're making a lot of good points, and that was so fast, so quick.
No. Richard Nixon as the Cookie Monster. I am not a cookie. No.
That reminds me of Monsters, Inc. You know... No, but you know the end of that... Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
And then you know the end, the evil guy that's like, I am not...
I'll kill 1,000 children if I have to.
Yes, I feel like he says something like, I'm not a crook or something. Doesn't he say something like that?
I think...
I am not...
Yeah, no, he was like,
Is
I'll
it a
kill
Nixon?
1,000 children if I have to. And I never met Jeffrey Epstein. I just flew in his plane 42 times.
I feel like he says something like, I am not a crook. I feel like it's a reference to...
Probably.
If I just made that connection, I'm so proud of myself.
Now I have to find this out for you because I
But you know the exact scene that I'm referencing at the very end.
At the end, when he gets found out for insider trading.
And I wonder if that's like a callback
Monsters,
to like a
Inc.
historical moment in real life.
Richard Nixon. Let's see. Just show me pictures of Richard Nixon.
All right, well, we can debunk this later. I don't...
In 1959, Vice President Richard Nixon was abducted at Disneyland.
Cool.
Maybe that inspired the tale of Monsters, Inc. because Boo got kidnapped by
That's
two
interesting.
predators.
I'm going to have to rewatch Monsters,
They
Inc.
brainwashed her into raising her.
I love that movie.
I love Monsters, Inc.
So good.
So good. I remember seeing that in theaters. I still have a Randall toy from when we were kids.
Is that a hoarder move?
After. Huh?
Are you collecting that or are you hoarding that?
It's sentimental. I remember I was like,
you literally, your definition of a hoarder was attaching meaning to garbage.
Well, like it's the same way you would hold on to like a picture of your family to remind you of simpler times before it all fell apart and you really have
All
no
right,
one
I'm gonna
left
let you
and
have
were all
your
alone
Mike
in New York
Wazowski
City.
toy.
It was Randall.
Oh, Randall's
I
evil.
know.
That says a
I
lot.
connected with him, Smithers.
Did you? He
No,
was so
it just
scary.
was a cool toy. It's like
It's still you
works like
still
this.
have this?
Yeah, it's in one
Is
of my
it-
boxes.
Is it in your current apartment or in Connecticut?
It's in my current apartment
That's
somewhere. It's in a
amazing.
box somewhere.
Can we bring that out? I want to see
I'll
that.
find it. Yeah.
Please,
I have a donkey
please.
from Shrek 2. Shrek 2.
I saw
Shrek
Shrek in
2.
theaters twice.
Did you?
Yeah.
First time for entertainment. Second
No, 3
time for plot.
times. 3
Third time
times.
to work out some feelings.
I loved it
How old
so
You
much.
were probably like what, 8 or 9?
Think about that time.
You know Chris Farley was supposed to be Shrek?
Who's Chris Farley? Don't know who that is.
Oh my God.
Let me
I'm
just-
going to have to cut that out. That's really bad for you.
I know his face, I'm sure.
Oh no. Torey. I hate to be that guy. I'm really sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy.
I'm
Most
sorry.
important voice of
I'm sorry.
physical comedy.
I'm
I'd
s-
say
I'll never
probably ever.
I'll never say my
Honestly, you would really enjoy Chris Farley's stuff.
Yeah.
He was
He's been
very-
dead for a while.
yeah, it's not new. He's been dead longer than we've been alive. He was
I get
a
it. He's in some
huge force.
classics.
He was a huge force. He was like the big guy in comedy and
Wayne's World. We got
yeah,
the
Wayne's
SNL.
World, Beverly Hills Ninja.
right,
He was
I'm
Matt
sorry.
Foley. You never saw that
I'm
SNL
sorry.
sketch? I live in a van down by the river. Man.
Yeah, that's all I got. I think I wrote down one question that we didn't answer, but
Well, tune in next week and we'll know
Yeah.
what the burning question was. Until then, Tori's got a big spot tonight.
big spot.
Big ol' spot.
Whee!
She's
Big
going to take a
spot.
shit on everybody with a
Yeah.
traditional abrasive style of comedy.
Woo.
Tori gets up there and she's
Would
like,
you
look
say
at this
that's
guy.
my
No
style?
401k.
That'd
Look
be
at this
fun.
guy over here. No balls. No balls. Everybody
do
point
that?
at this guy and go, no balls. All right, we're ready for a good show now. This next guy coming to stage, he got balls. Unlike
Oh.
you, Norman, no balls over here. Nah, we love you, you fucking ballless
Have you ever
bastard.
hosted like that? That's
No,
funny.
Not a.
I
no.
like that.
That's what I'm gonna.
I want to do
It's a
that.
big set for you tonight. Just go on stage and go, no balls.
No balls.
It's killing right now. Imagine in a room full of up to 50 people.
I like that. Thank you.
This comic coming to the stage. Hold on to your balls.
This is all ball references.
All
Every
balls.
time you pull up a comic,
Listen, let me tell you
one
something.
ball.
This guy got between 1 to 2 balls. This next guy has between 0 to 2 balls. This next guy, he's a little different. All I'm going to say is he's got between 1 and 3 balls, and they're not all in the same place. It was a horrible accident. His mother smoked a lot when he was a baby.
I think you
Not
should
when she
do
was
this.
pregnant, but when he was a baby.
Are you just
He grew
using
a third
me
testicle
to write
on
right
the
now?
back of his calf. I spoiled his closer. I just had to tell you. I'm jittered up right now. I had 2 cups of coffee before hosting the show.
ruined his
I'm telling
closer.
people things I never should tell them.
Imagine if you
My
were.
social security number 742 dash.
That'd be really funny though if you were the host. A funny skit would be like if you were a host and you knew all their closers, and every time you brought a comic up, you just used their closer.
Oh, I did it again. All right.
Good luck.
All right, I'm not going to do it again. All right. And this next guy, let's hope he's got another one.
It's good.
Well, good luck.
Good luck. Thanks.
Gonna need it.
Break your legs.
Break your legs.
Break both of them.
Break your balls.
Break your arms.
Break your arms. I want you to go up there
Break
so
your
people feel
face.
sorry for you. They're going, this girl's chasing her dreams
That's
after
good.
she got into a horrible accident, broke her arms, broke her legs.
Brain
But
damage.
she's got both of her balls. Torey Two-Sacks, give it up.